Hi guys, I know many of y'all out there who are applying for your HCPC registration to work as a physiotherapist, occupational therapist, speech and language therapist, operating department practitioner, or any other profession that governed by the HCPC is concerned about should you be giving IELTS, should you be giving TOEFL, is there any way to say that you do not need to give these particular exams before you're registered with HCPC? And today's video is really important because it's going to answer this simple question, but it's also going to potentially lay out how HCPC is going to react to international applicants from now on. So if you are somebody who's looking to apply for HCPC or has already made an application, please do not skip this video and watch it all the way to the end. But for those of y'all who do not know me, my name is Nikita and I work as a physiotherapist in the UK, and I make videos about life in the UK, working as a healthcare profession and everything in between. So do not forget to drop me a subscribe, but also follow me on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK. So let's get right into today's video. So first things first, do you need to give an English language proficiency test for your application with HCPC? I know there are many of y'all out there who have heard from different people in the past, people who've registered previously, agencies that are saying that you do not need to give your IELTS or you do not need to give an English language proficiency test. What is the truth? I think the truth is that you need to be demonstrating some ability of you being able to work in the UK, which is an English speaking country. And the best way to do that is by giving your IELTS. I know many of y'all out there are obviously saying that you complete the self-declaration form. It says that you have been in a country that speaks English. But I do know of candidates who are being picked up in the last year where they are requested to then give their IELTS exam and submit those reports, and they have only 28 days to do so. So I personally feel that it would be really stressful for me as a person to give a test and get the appropriate score within a particular set date. And so I would recommend that if you are somebody who is in the process of making an application without the IELTS, definitely go ahead and give your IELTS. It's just safer for you, and you can definitely try and use that in your visa application later on. And for those of y'all who have questions about which IELTS should I be giving, what should I be doing from now on, I would highly recommend watching this particular video because it gives all of the information that you need, and I'll leave the link for that somewhere above right now. But yes, guys, definitely give that exam because it's going to put you out of so much stress and anxiety, and you just cannot believe how good you will feel knowing that that part of your application is not going to get questioned. But coming down to the main topic of today's video, which is what is happening with HCPC and what is this exciting news that I want to share with all of you. So HCPC recently has come back and said that they would like to hold a consultation with all of the applicants who've registered with HCPC and all of them who are looking to register with HCPC. These are international applicants and they're looking to gain an understanding of what are their views about the English language proficiency test. Now, obviously, they do have some proposals with it, and I will be sharing that with you in a moment. But what is really important is that I will be sharing a screen and I will be sharing the link for this later, where they've asked you for your feedback. So if you are somebody who has already made an application in the past, who is on the register, who's in the process of making an application, or who might make an application in the future, if you have any views about anything related to this, please do not forget to share that, and the link for that will be in the description below. But also, I would recommend that HCPC has recently put out 2 webinars, and this is on their channel, and I'll leave the link for that again somewhere in the description box below. So definitely have a watch of it. But in today's video, I will try to summarize what is their proposal, and I would be really keen to know your thoughts. So the first thing they are proposing is ending the self-declaration part of the English language proficiency within the online application. Now, why are they planning to do this? So as a part of the online application right now, you have a place where you can tick the box saying that you feel that you speak English well enough and you use it in your professional and your daily life. And that sometimes works, but sometimes when there are assessors from the HCPC who feel that, oh, maybe this person is from a country that is not English speaking, I should go back and ask them about whether they really do know to speak English, and maybe I should just get like a test done to identify it. That's when people are getting called up to actually write their IELTS or their TOEFL. So to avoid this sort of subjective assessment from the assessors, HCPC has put forth an idea where they say that they're going to scrap this section entirely and add a bit more objective assessment. Over here, I just want to share an example that I obviously heard through the webinar while I was watching it to sort of prepare for this video. And one of the people have previously put out this question to one of the HCPC people who were doing the webinar, and they said, well, we've got a candidate who's working for us, but maybe their written or their spoken language is not as good as it should be. And that's obviously coming in the way of patient safety and care. What can be done? And one of the advices that people have recommended to this by the HCPC was that firstly, you need to sort of have a local check of whether they are registered by the HCPC or no. So you can easily do that by checking the register. The second thing they've recommended is that they would like this person to maybe have some local support around this to sort of build their skills up. But if they feel that this candidate or this international graduate who has now started working in the UK is sort of compromising patient safety or compromising the way they practice in the UK, they should report their concerns to the HCPC and a fitness to practice should be carried out for them. So that's why, guys, if you are somebody who's self-declaring it, and even if you are registered at this point, please do not be under the assumption that nobody is going to catch you if your English is really poor and if you're not able to communicate on a daily basis with your patients or with your colleagues. Because if it sort of comes in the way of you practicing as a healthcare professional in the UK, your employers might look you up and try to find ways to report that to HCPC. The second thing they've proposed is that they would like to make a list of countries which are exempt from giving the IELTS. So if you are a graduate or if you are a person applying from any of these countries, then you do not need to essentially give your IELTS. Now again, this is a bit of work in progress. So they haven't identified all of the countries which they feel could sort of fall under this category, but I think they're working off the list from the NMC, which is the Nursing Registration Council. So again, as a part of that list, and as you can see on your screens right here, the pink countries are the ones where you sort of have those countries where they are exempt from giving IELTS, and again you can see a list of them down below on the bottom. However, as you can see, a lot of the Asian countries, including India, Pakistan, maybe Bangladesh, maybe some of the other countries that we are applying from, may not be included in this particular list, and again that's something to be aware about. Again, the primary concern over there is even if you have completed your qualification in English, so say maybe you've done all of your coursework in English, you've completed all of your assessments, exams, you've maybe read all of the books that you need to sort of review in English for completing your degree. Even so, if you are from a country that is not primarily speaking English, and I think the threshold for that is about 75% of the population to speak English, then you might be required to give IELTS. Now again, this is a bit of work in progress at this stage, so they are sort of working on this list and they might come up with what is included in it. However, I think this is something that again you can put forward in your views, your thoughts about what they should be looking at. So again, find the link for that in the description box below and maybe complete that survey form so that they have an idea about what they should be thinking about when they sort of make this consultation a bit more broader for all of us applicants. Third thing they want to do is actually look at the list of sort of tests that are already approved. So for example, right now we do have tests such as IELTS and TOEFL, and we have very clear criteria of what is accepted by HCPC. Again, I receive so many questions about, Nikita, I have received a slightly lower IELTS score in maybe reading or writing, is that acceptable? And the answer is no. You need to have the appropriate score that is recommended by HCPC in order to have a successful application. And if your score is slightly below, even in a single module, they might not accept your IELTS or TOEFL scores. However, as a part of this proposal now, HCPC is looking at broadening this list of English language proficiency tests. So while they are currently accepting only IELTS and TOEFL, they are looking at maybe increasing the scope of including some other tests in it. Now, they've again not gone into a lot of detail of stating which exact tests these might be, but there might be scope for you to sort of suggest some of those tests again through the survey link in the description box below. So definitely I'd say give that a big sort of look today, or maybe anytime in the future before it sort of expires. And the fourth thing they've recommended is that they feel that if an applicant has practiced in any country which is English speaking or under a person who has been registered by the HCPC, they might be able to sort of write off that English language requirement. So let me sort of explain this further. So if you are a physiotherapist, for example, who has been working in Ireland, say for like 3 years or 5 years, and then you look to move into the UK, HCPC is now saying that it might consider your time in Ireland as a sort of English language requirement test for you. So you might not need to give your IELTS. However, this is not entirely sort of confirmed. So we again need to sort of wait and see whether this proposal does get accepted. Now, just to sort of read out to you, as you can see right there, there are going to be a few webinars. So there have already been a few webinars in the past, but the next webinar I think is going to be on the 11th of January from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and that's UK time. So again, if you have questions about this or would like to contact HCPC, please do not forget to register for this webinar. I've left the link for the web page in the description box below anyways. But also, as you can see, the survey link is also present right there, and I'll leave the link for that again in the description box below. And please remember that it is only open until Friday 19th of January, which is soon approaching, within a month's time. So please make an effort and fill out the survey, especially if you are somebody who has been registered by HCPC or who is going to be registered. Now, for those of y'all who have already been registered by HCPC, let me just reassure you that none of these rules are applicable to you. These are only for applicants who might be registered in the future. Another important thing to probably say at this stage is that we don't know when these proposals will get accepted and when these guidelines will be implemented. However, we just need to keep an eye out. So again, if you are somebody who wants to know about it a bit more, do not forget to drop me a subscribe so that you will be updated as and when HCPC does put out this information. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it useful. And if you did, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care. Bye.